Hi, this is Moodle Quizzes Step by Step. The bit.ly you see down here in the bottom right-hand corner over there is Quiz SBS for Quiz Step by Step. It is where this Google slideshow that you're looking at behind me is. And in there will be embedded links to smaller pieces that you may or may not need to review when looking at doing Moodle quizzes. The intent here is that Moodle quizzes can be one of the things that is the most daunting for teachers to get into, but once you use it and get used to it, it is also one of the most beneficial things you can use for short cycle assessments, for both formative and summative assessments, allowing you to let students take and retake assessments without you having to do a lot of extra work. And that's where some teachers say, I don't let students redo tests, but if they got a different test and it was randomized and you didn't have to do the work to grade that test, it's a little easier to let students retry assessments. Anyways, let's get started. So that bit.ly is the link. These spots will have links in them as well in the Google slideshow. So again, this is just the subjects and the links that on this short video. You have to go to the individual links to get the actual stuff. And again, I'm standing in front of the bit.ly, but it's Quiz SBS, and case is important on that. The Q, the S, the B, and the S is capitalized. Bit.ly makes all those separate ones based on case. So I want to point out also that after you've done this, if you have any problems, please don't hesitate to schedule me for a tech day one-to-one to go over any of the individual things that you're having problems with. I really think using Moodle quizzes is great, so I will be there to support you in that. So the first thing you should do when thinking about making and using the quiz module is to set up categories that the questions will go into. When I first started using Moodle quizzes, I just made questions and they just went in there, and all of a sudden I've got hundreds of quizzes all together, hard to differentiate and figure what goes where. So this very short video down here link is how to go in and make categories for your chapters or your subject areas, making it easier for you to use those questions again in the future in a variety of different ways for those short and short cycle assessments, as well as any other formative and summative assessments you want to use the module for. So the first thing is follow this little short video on how to make categories for your questions in your course. After that, we're going to go through, and this video is on how to make your first quiz. And really, once you've made your first one, this one goes through all the settings that are available on a quiz. And there's a lot of options available on a quiz. Once you've set one up, you might have to come back to this video again once or twice, but once you get used to those settings, this will be something that you just refer to. So this video right here is just how to initially set up a quiz. Setting up a quiz doesn't mean it has any questions, just so you know. It's the initial setup, how you want it to be used, and then you add your questions, which is the next thing, how to add questions to a quiz. This short video is how to add questions, not how to use all the questions. Again, this is a collection of videos that you're basically looking at getting to. So that the third thing is how to add questions to a quiz. But then the fourth one is the biggest part of it, and I'm calling it a complete guide to the types of questions that I use. I am not an expert on every single one. I do use a majority of the question types that Moodle has available, and there's a bunch. And this question overview goes through each of them one at a time, and is really the meat of what you need to learn is how to use all those different question types. You can start by just using multiple choice, and then add matching, and then add true or false, and then start adding the more advanced ones that match those types of questions that we see on the state testing as well. So this is the biggest part, is how to use the different question types. Once you make one that you can add it to your question anytime through this method of adding them to your quiz. And then that's it. That's it for doing questions. If you have any problems, please schedule a one-to-one to me on any tech day. This year, those are brown days. It isn't always brown days. It depends on how the scheduling is set up. But don't hesitate to find me to help you work your way through using this module, because once you start using Moodle quizzes, it really is fantastic. And that's it for the intro. The videos are the links that follow.